On episode number 11 of the Dirt Trackers Rugby Show, we look forward to the Ireland versus Scotland match at the Aviva Stadium and speak to the new Irish captain Rory Best. Ireland's women play the Scots in Ashburn, and a win will see them in with a championship chance when they go to play England on St Patrick's Day. We caught up with the coach Philip Doyle, captain Fiona Coghlan and second row Sophie Spence. Leinster have signed World Cup winning All Black Brad Thorn on a short-term deal, and he spoke about his hectic schedule since he lifted the Webb Ellis Trophy. There's a big Super Rugby match between the Chiefs and Crusaders this weekend, so TV3 New Zealand gives us the lowdown on that. But first, we talked to Ireland captain Rory Best about leading his country and equalling the highest number of Irish Test caps for a hooker. Saturday's game will be his 56th in the position that made Keith Woods an Irish and Lions hero.
It's obviously it's a great honour to be asked to captain the side on Saturday. It's something that I suppose captaining other teams, underage teams, is something you always dream of doing, and it was very unfortunate that Paulie's out and he'll be a huge loss, but I was very honoured when Declan asked me to captain the side. I think Scotland are, they're going really well at the minute. They've been very unlucky with some of the results, but the performances have been very good, and they're very dangerous. And we know we're going to have to be on our money on Saturday. They play a lot of rugby. They play some very, very good rugby, and it's really going to be a massive challenge for our defence. Yeah, it's it'll be a very special day. Somebody like Keith Wood that sort of grew up watching, coming up through school and playing hooker. You always watch. Was the national hooker at that stage, and it was Keith, and to equal his record on Saturday, he was a very, very special player, and to get to the milestone that he set, it means that you must be doing something right, and it'll be a great day. But more important than that is our performance and the result on Saturday. That's all sort of a bit of a sideshow. The important thing is that as a team that we get ourselves right, and we're ready to go come kick off on Saturday evening.
And then I suppose what's it, the Scots then, they're coming next Friday, aren't they? So then that's
yeah, Scots here next Friday night. To be fair to them, they're coming off a couple of losses, but they are a serious threat. Like, they are big ladies. They are physically tall and heavy, so it's a very hard team to play against. England found it hard against them in Scotland. So they are a threat, a serious threat, and in order for us to keep ourselves going forward, we've got to deal with that.
I suppose that's the kind of thing, like you've only had the 2 games, but then it was that close defeat as well in France, and I suppose just to get that, hopefully to get that win then, because you're not kind of looking too far beyond that game anyway, I suppose, in terms of the championship.
We can't, in terms of it's one game at a time, and I know it's a cliche, but it's the only way to look at the Six Nations.
Yeah.
And look, yes, we have to deal with Scotland then, and then we'll obviously go on to England, and we all know England are an absolute class side, and deservedly so. But we'll deal with them when we have to.
Yeah. And I suppose just the final thing as well is just there was a few people even commenting on the girls' fitness as well. Is that kind of something that's kind of really impressed you this season as well, that they've been able to keep, so many players can keep going all the way through to 80 minutes?
It better have impressed me because we've been putting a huge amount of work into it over this season with Ross Callahan, our strength and conditioning coach, through the RFU, and it was an area that alarm bells were ringing for the last couple of years. So we're delighted at the moment. We're nowhere near where we should be. It's a plan for the World Cup 2014.
We're definitely, I suppose, going into it on favourites in the past couple of games we played against them, but I suppose that's when they're probably going to be at their most dangerous, is when they've nothing to lose. They'll come out and they'll have nothing to lose. They haven't won a game yet, so they'll have targeted this game against us as well. So we really have to be on form and produce more of the same that we did today. Yeah.
I mean, you're happy with the girls in the back line, like Ashley. She picked that ball up out of nowhere, so it's just off the grass. I was saying for her try.
The girls are brilliant. They're only young ones. They're only 19, 20. And the confidence that they're playing with is just brilliant. And just to have them coming in so young, but with the skills that they're coming in with, is just brilliant as well. A lot of the rest of us didn't start playing till we're 19. These kids have been playing since they're. I think Nikki was playing since she's 5 or something, so they're coming through with a whole new range of skills that we don't have, so it's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and it's a good you kind of think it's a good mix in the team as well.
Yeah, they keep the rest of us young.
Yeah.
No, it is brilliant. They inject the youth and the happiness and the buzz around the place, so no, it's a really good vibe in the squad this year.
I play in the English Premiership League from out in Park Sharks, so I've been with them now for 2 seasons. Yeah.
And how did you get spotted then, or how did you come to kind of play for Ireland then as well, or is it just a parentage thing?
I actually spoke to one of my friends who at the same club as me, and she said, oh, there's an Exiles team getting set up, and from then obviously went training, and Keith and Goose did a session in London, and from then obviously got selected in the 44 and then 32, and obviously came to the training camps and things.
Yeah. And was that like at the start of the season? Was that the first time you and Maz have been put together? Like it's a new combination.
Yeah, completely. I mean, I only met Maz in January, and then obviously developing as I have done, and then just I don't know, we've started to perform really well together.
Yeah. Because I was watching the game here last week against Italy as well, and you two you do combine well, and you just you're very good in the loose as well. Like, you know, it's not just a line out. You guys are good ball carriers too.
Yeah.
So you're happy enough with the kind of how the partnership's gone so far?
Oh, completely. She's someone who gives us much confidence within the game. You know, she always keeps my head up going, and just to work with on the line out in the scrims, it's fantastic.
Yeah. And I suppose just, was there a try that kind of would have pleased you guys most, like, you know, in the game, especially from a forward's perspective? Was there a try that stood out in the game for you, I suppose?
I think initially we had one, I don't know if it was the first try, but when we mauled it and we kept it going, that was a really good moment. You know, we worked well together, the maul was working, we were tight, and yeah. Definitely, yeah.
And then was there anybody else that would even be talk at the end of the game about, alright guys, as good as that was, we have to improve? Is there any areas you kind of think that need to be tightened up at all? Or
I think as a team you're always going to have points that you want to improve on, because you always want to get better, so I think you would work on everything really. You know, you can't just be satisfied with what you've done, you know, even though take the benefits of that, but always want to improve.
Peter Breen interviewed Brad Thorn on Wednesday for Leinster TV and asked the big second row about the World Cup, his stint in Japan and getting together with familiar Kiwi faces. We'll go to that next and finish up with an interview with Israel Dagg of the Canterbury Crusaders, who are playing in Hawke's Bay in the North Island of New Zealand this weekend.
Brad, firstly, you're very welcome to Dublin, to Ireland. What are your initial impressions, and maybe give us, the Leinster supporters, some thoughts on why you decided to move to Leinster?
I'm pretty excited to be here. Obviously I've been here a few times with the All Blacks, and I've always had a great time in Ireland and in Dublin, so yeah, it's exciting to come to a great club and hopefully to play some good rugby and get a feel of actually living here for a little bit.
What do you actually know about Leinster?
Won a couple of Heineken Cups, and a good bulk of the Irish team come from Leinster. So I know they're very successful. They have high standards, and it's pretty exciting to be part of it, and a real challenge to me. So yeah.
Obviously, Joe Schmidt, John O'Gibbs, Greg Feek hail from your homeland in New Zealand. There's a couple of players like Easton Athewa, Matt Burkus as well. So do you know them? Would you have played amongst or alongside or against them? Maybe enjoyed some battles over the years against them? Yeah,
well, with Jono against Greg Feek. Played quite a bit of rugby with Greg. Got to know him with the scrummaging and stuff. And Matt Burquist, he was at the Crusaders last year, so had a lot of great stuff about Joe as a coach. So it's pretty exciting. It's really cool. I know a few guys here, and I'm going to get to meet a whole heap of other guys I've played against at international level. So it's exciting, and really looking forward to it.
One of the areas that Leinster are very proud of is the supporter base, and hopefully for your first game could be against the Ospreys. There's already over 16,000 supporters gone for that. There's 46,000 tickets sold for the quarter-final of the Heineken Cup at the start of April.
I've always said with crowds, I don't care if they're for me or against me, as long as they're there. And the more of them that are there, it's great. But obviously the Leinster fans are right behind this team, and they come out and show that by coming out in numbers, and I'm sure they're going to be great atmospheres, and hopefully I can, if I get selected, I can be amongst that.
It's been a very exciting last few months for you since the World Cup success. Congratulations on that, by the way. And having
like a long time ago, mate.
and subsequently having played in Japan. What was it like playing in Japan? And perhaps give us an insight into what the aftermath of winning the World Cup was like for you. It must have been a career ambition.
Oh, it was massive, huge moment. I was in tears after the game, and I can't remember another time in my career, where I've been that way. So much went into it. The whole country just went off. parades. In Auckland we had 170,000 people or something on the street, so it's huge for the country, huge for us as the All Blacks, the amount of work that went into that. Basically we had the parades, then I went home, packed my house, and by the following Monday I was in Japan, and I played the following weekend, started. So I haven't really stopped. I've been either playing or training for up to 15 months now. It's the longest I've done this in my career, so I see that as a challenge as well. You know, I see it as a challenge to come here, and I want to perform well. You know, I want to do well and you know, play, you know, honour this jersey and the fans and that, and try my best. So I had a great time in Japan, but I'm happy for this little adventure for the next couple of months.
Well, the Crusaders and Chiefs Super Rugby match in Napier tomorrow night is officially a Crusaders home game. While the Red and Blacks have 3 Hawke's Bay players, the Chiefs have 6. So just who will get the crowd support? Jim Kays reports.
Back home at McLean Park, but not yet back where he belongs. The leg injury Israel Dagg suffered last year's keeping him from driving the Crusaders from fullback.
We had a plan. 3 weeks I was going to play on the wing. I had, you know, just didn't want to aggravate my quad after having such a long break, and so I've got 1 more week on the wing, and then hopefully after the bye week I'll get back to fullback where I love playing.
For now, Dagg's just happy to be home, and though the Chiefs have more magpies, including their hooker, Hicka Elliott, Dagg's confident the Hawke's Bay faithful will swap black and white for red and black.
Oh, they're not the favourites. He's not very well liked here, old Hicka, I have to say. You got 2 favourite sons coming home for the Crusaders, so I'm sure everyone will be cheering us on.
I don't know about that. He's the one with the receding hairline, so I think they might be supporting us.
Hawke's Bay CEO Mike Bishop's a neutral observer, so who does he think the crowd will support?
It's a big question. Last year it was very much Crusader-centric, and no question about that. This year we've got, what, 6 or 7 guys in the Chiefs and 3 or 4 in the Crusaders, so it's a difficult one to gauge.
Whoever the crowd supports, McLean Park can hold about 18,000 these days. 11,000 tickets have been sold, and if the weather continues to improve, there should be strong gate sales tomorrow.
If we got anywhere near sort of 12, 13, 14, that's a pretty solid crowd. Seats are full, great atmosphere.
And for a game in the Hurricanes region, the fans will have plenty of familiar faces to support. Jim Kays, 3 News.